Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Saturday, February 6, 2016, around 5:22 in the morning, Berwick, Massachusetts. It's cold out, about 20 degrees. Going to be close to 40 today. Get some of the snow melted, which is about a foot of snow. A little bit of warm this weekend, but then next week going to be cold and several chances of snow. Monday, Tuesday, and Friday are the best chances for snow. Tuesday's the best chance for snow, and Monday and Friday, slim chance, but you never know. Winter's here, and probably it's going to be here for a while. Some news to report. Boston Celtics beat the Cleveland Cavaliers by a score of 104-103 by a last-second shot by Avery Bradley. Celtics playing real good, and they are surprising a lot of people. UMass Lowell Riverhawks hockey team tied with Northeastern by the score of 2-2, and it's Happy Hockey Day in Canada. All 7 Canadian-based NHL teams are playing today on CBC and Rogers Sportsnet. They celebrate Hockey Day in Canada, and right now all 7 Canadian NHL teams are slated to miss the playoffs if it ended today, but it looks like that's a great possibility, but we'll wait and see. And 38 years ago today was the infamous blizzard of 1978 in New England. And that's about it on the news. My first video subject of the day is a project that I'm going to be doing for the next several video blogs for like top 10 list instead of the top 10 list. This is the top 100 list of the best professional wrestling matchups of all time. The world of sports entertainment have had some of the greatest matches of all time, and listening to lots of wrestling podcasts about people doing the best 100 matches of all time. Some of them have all matches from all federations, including Japan and Mexico. Somewhat like WCW, like half of it was genetic, others were WWE and genetic with matches. And these are the top 100 matches of all time. We'll be going through this list from like 100 to 1, but in variations. Like today it's going to be 100 through 91, and then the next would be 90 through 81, so on till I get to number 1. And all the matches I'm going to be doing are from the major North American promotions. There's some flown in there from other places, but I won't have anything from Japan or Mexico or Puerto Rico, anything in Europe, because I'm not really familiar with watching wrestling from other countries. And here are the top 10 100 pro wrestling matches of all time. Number 100 on this list is the fabulous Freebirds facing off against the Von Erichs at the David Von Erich Memorial Parade of Champions in May 6, 1984. This was for the world-class 6-man tag team titles. Freebirds were Michael P.S. Hayes, Terry Bam Bam Gordy, and Buddy Jack Roberts. They faced off against Kevin Von Erich, Mike Von Erich, and Fritz Von Erich, who came out of retirement, and this was a very classic brawl. The Freebirds Von Erich's feud was very awesome. It made world-class championship wrestling. Fans went crazy when Fritz Von Erich came out of retirement and put the iron claw on the Freebirds, which was pretty awesome. Von Erichs won this match and got the World 6-Man Tag Team titles. Number 99 on this list of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time. Greg Gagne and Jimmy Superfly Snuka facing off against Bruiser Brody and Noah the Barbarian at Wrestle Rock 86 in April 20th, 1986, at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota. This was a very big cage match. It was also the Superfly's debut in the AWA, and this was probably one of the last great AWA cards of all time, and it was special stipulation. If Gagne and Snooker won, then Vern Gagne would get 5 minutes with Sheik Adnan Al-Kaisi, and Gagne and Snooker won. It was awesome. And then Vern Gagne beat up the Sheik Adnan Al-Kaisi for 5 minutes, putting the famous Gagne sleeper hold on him, and it was a big pop. Last time that Vern Gagne was in the ring, he wanted to get one more last big pop from the crowd. Number 98 on this list of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time, from 100 to 1. Andre the Giant facing off against Big John Studd at the first WrestleMania on March 31st, 1985. The Body Slam match, $15,000 at stake. If Andre the Giant could not slam Big John Studd within 15 minutes, he would have to retire from the world of professional wrestling. This was a very awesome match. It probably was one of the best matches Andre ever wrestled, despite his condition. Studd and Andre had a classic feud, and then Andre won by slamming Big John Studd, and then he took the money out of the duffel bag, threw it into the crowd, and the Bobby the Brain Heenan took back the money. Very, very great. Number 97 on this list of the top 100 professional wrestling matches of all time. Harley Race facing off against Terry Funk at Maple Leaf, Scotland for the NWA World Title on February 6, 1977. This was a very classic match, back and forth with two technicians. Harley Race beat Terry Funk to win the NWA title for the second time, and this was his start of being dominant as NWA World Champion, having like 6 more title reigns, and this was his first title reign that was going to be a long-term champion. He was a transitional champion, Harley Race, in 1973 from Dory Funk Jr. to put Jack Briscoe. 96 on this list of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time. Pedro Morales facing off against Bruno Sammartino at Shea Stadium in September 30th, 1972. This match went 75 minutes, and it was for the WWF World Title. It was a classic match, and it was under cold conditions with dampness. George the Animal Steel tried to interfere, and it was a curfew time limit draw. There was rumors that Vince McMahon Sr. asked Bruno Sammartino to turn heel on this match, but Bruno refused to, and I could never see Bruno as a heel, in my opinion, and Pedro Morales retained the WWF title because the titles don't change hands on draws. Number 95 on this list of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time. Rugged Ronnie Garvin facing off against Greg the Hammer Valentine at Royal Rumble 1990. It was a submission match. Greg the Hammer Valentine had that shin guard for his shin. He's saying it was protecting an injury, but it was actually using an advantage. Facing off against Ronnie Garvin, Rugged won, and they had a feud. Actually, the Hammer retired Ronnie Garvin in Superstars of Wrestling in April of 1989, but Ronnie came back as a referee, as a reverse Danny Davis, favoring the faces. Eventually, he was suspended for life, and he got back in the ring, and him and the Hammer had long-running feuds. And this submission match was awesome. It was back and forth, and Garvin and Valentine tried to pin both of them, each other, but only submissions. Ending of the match had Jimmy Hart try to interfere, but he got knocked out, and then Garvin hits the Hammer with the shin guard, and the Hammer taps out. This was probably the last great match for Ronnie Garvin and Greg Valentine. Number 94 on this list of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time. Jake the Snake Roberts facing off against the model Rick Martel in a blindfold match at WrestleMania 7. The angle had this was a culmination of a feud that started on the Brother Love show when Rick Martel blinded Jake the Snake Roberts with arrogance, and they showed Jake the Snake Roberts being blinded. Actually, it was like a pure white contact lens, and it was showing that Jake, battling from blindness until seeing again, and then they signed for WrestleMania 7, but Rick Martel did not use the fine print, and it was a blindfold match, and this was an awesome match, and this was the peak of Jake's popularity in the WWE. They weren't really blindfolded, period. It wasn't total darkness. They actually could have little things that they could see out of the blindfold, and Jake the Snake beat the model with the DDT. Number 93 on this list of the top 100 greatest matches of all time. Bob Backlund facing off against Bret the Hitman Hart at a house show on Madison Square Garden on June 12, 1993. This was over a 33-minute match. It wasn't televised, but what I heard from it was a classic scientific match with both faces. But the Hitman Hart won, and afterwards both of them shook hands. Number 92 on this list of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time. Superstar Billy Graham facing off against Bruno Sammartino in Baltimore, Maryland on April 30th, 1977. This was an awesome match. It was actually the passing of the torch from Bruno Sammartino to Superstar Billy Graham. Graham beats the living legend with his feet on the ropes 1, 2, 3 to win the WWF title. Graham has a yearly 1-year reign as champion, as probably the longest running heel champion in WWE history up to that point, but he was going to drop it to Bob Backlund in February of 20th, 1978. And 91 on this list of the top 10 greatest professional wrestling matches of all time. Hulk Hogan, the Immortal One, facing off against The Undertaker at Survivor Series 1991, the Gravest Challenge on November 27th, 1991. This match solidified The Undertaker as a top star in the WWE because The Undertaker had a ghouly gimmick as being Dead Man, and with some of the cartoonish characters beating up, making him a credible heel by putting the Undertaker, the Ultimate Warrior in a casket and being aligned with Jake the Snake Roberts. Many people predicted that this would be another routine title defense by Hulk Hogan, but the Undertaker was awesome in this match. He no-sold a lot of Hogan stuff. Ending of the match had Ric Flair come down and interfere and distract Hogan, and the Undertaker tombstones Hogan on a chair that Ric Flair put down, and the Undertaker pins Hogan 1, 2, 3 to win the WWE title, and the fans were actually popping for the Undertaker, which was very rare for a heel at this point in the WWE, and this probably got eventually the Undertaker to turn face. And that's about it on this list from 100 to 91. Tomorrow will be 90 to 81. And I'll be back later with 2 more video blogs. One will be about the former sports network New Sports that lasted 4 years, and the third and final video blog of the night will be about the late great NBA Hall of Famer Moses Malone. Keep calm, everybody. I'm Julie Buddingheim, Molly Rosenblatt of WCCO, Rocks and has nice legs. Elizabeth Hart is so stunning, and Amy Wednesday's the best. And in the words of Dee Patel last week, no bus. Don't forget Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Daily, and Google Plus. Questions, comments, concerns, shout outs and plugs, send it to me and will be addressed by